When Michael Johnson, the greatest 200 and 400-meter runner in history, speaks about this man, he does so with a mixture of respect, admiration, and friendship. That happens a lot when you're Clyde Hart.
You know, you have lots of coaches out there who are great coaches, and they know technically, you know, what an athlete should do to run fast. But I think that also, in order to be a great coach, you have to be a people person. You have to understand people. You have to be able to relate to people. You have to be able to teach. You have to be a teacher, and I think he's a teacher.
For 43 years, American Clyde Hart has been coaching athletics at Baylor, a university college in the heart of Texas. From the very earliest days of that career, his guidance has produced winners on the track. But it was the emergence of Michael Johnson that brought Hart to the attention of the athletics cognoscenti. In the late 1980s, Johnson had not been Hart's first-choice high school recruit for Baylor. But when the original candidate pulled out, Hart reassessed Johnson and realized the youngster had real potential. Blessed with quite extraordinary leg speed, Hart was convinced that if Johnson's strength could be improved, he would be unbeatable. And thus it was.
Michael was nothing but gold. Every world championship, 9 times, I believe he got gold medals. And then he got the 5 gold medals in the Olympics. That's 14 gold medals. That's pretty good.
After graduating from Baylor, Johnson stuck with Hart, who'd remain his only coach. They would share their greatest triumph at the 1996 Olympics, where, after 4 years of preparation, Johnson was simply awesome. He would win the 400 and 200-meter double, obliterating the world record in the latter. While Johnson was mobbed by the media, Hart left the stadium to walk back to the hotel. Hart walked in anonymity, unheralded but filled with a sense of self-satisfaction he had never felt before or has quite felt since. All that mattered was that he and Michael had executed their plans to perfection. Even after Johnson's retirement, Clyde Hart continues to work his magic at Baylor. Almost 50 years ago, Hart paced the campus here as a student and graduated with a business degree. He headed west, all set to work in the Texas oil industry. But there, a neighbor happened to be a high school sports teacher and asked Hart to help out. From such serendipity, magnificent careers are sometimes forged. Clyde started coaching youngsters and realized he'd missed his calling. To date, Hart has coached 6 Olympians. These athletes have won 8 Olympic gold medals, the 3 most recent claimed by Baylor students Jeremy Warrener and Darrell Williamson. Warrener won the individual 400-meter title in Athens, and along with Williamson, helped the USA to 4x400-meter relay gold. During their victorious homecoming to Baylor, Hart was happy to avoid the limelight.
I think that they did exactly what our alma mater says. It says to fling our green and gold afar, and they not only did that, but they added a little red, white, and blue to it also. So this is their night, so I'm going to let you have it with them. Thank you very much.
Hart's expertise goes beyond the one-lap sprinter's marathon. He's coached successful high jumpers, long jumpers, milers, and even shot putters. But it's the 400 meters that he's most closely associated with. Some might argue that Michael Johnson would have become a great champion under any number of coaches. While the success of Warrener and Williamson might not actually disprove that notion, their medals, together with the testimony of Johnson himself, should leave nobody in any doubt that Clyde Hart really is a long sprint guru. So what's the coach's secret? Well, part of the answer is his approach to the intensity of training.
We believe that you don't have to train fast to run fast. Although we will do drills that will enhance speed. We just don't come out and run time trials and run things wide open in practice where you take a chance of getting somebody hurt. I'd rather run 6 or 7 200s at a reasonable speed with very short rest and run 3 of them very fast, taking long rest, and take a chance of getting a kid hurt.
With his track record of success, Hart has little problem attracting prospective student athletes. In his assessment of candidates, a willingness to be coached takes precedence over personal best times. He has an overall coaching philosophy in place and expects everyone to fit in. Yet he still makes minor adjustments based on each individual's needs and character.
He just perfects those small things in people that they need help with. So, I mean, mine would be my strength and my foreman. And other people like Jeremy, he is fast, but, you know, Coach helped him with his strength at the end of the race. He treats you with a lot of respect and class, and what's more important to him is you carrying yourself like a man or a woman versus just being a good athlete in it.
Hart still relishes overseeing training sessions where Olympic champions mix with collegiate freshmen. He jokes that as the track is 400 meters long, the 400 meters must be the most important event. He cuts a calm figure even when he travels to international competitions.
You can't show fear, because if you show fear, the kids are going to get afraid. You've got to exude confidence. You've got to let your kid know without being overconfident. I never go in and say, you're so much better, but I tell them, hey, you should win this race. We're better trained. We've beaten these people before. We tried to go into an Olympic Games or World Championship feeling like any other meet that we got to execute.
Though Jeremy Warrener claimed the World 400 meters title in 2005 and remains the man to beat over one lap, Hart thinks that Darrell Williamson has the potential to dethrone him over the coming years. Amongst the women, his training group has been joined by the equally exciting Sanya Richards. The coach believes Richards possesses natural leg speed akin to Michael Johnson and also shares the Waco Express's endless appetite for hard work in training. Understandably, Richards is delighted to be working with Hart.
Building into it. Just keep it rolling. Good job, babe. Keep it rolling.
At the Olympic Games, I met Jeremy and Darrell, and we spoke a lot about their workouts and stuff, and I felt like I was lacking in my strength work. So after I went professional, I decided I wanted to meet up with Coach Hart, kind of learn his philosophy, and once we spoke, I realized that what he did is exactly what I needed. So it was a match made in heaven. He's a great guy, and he gave me the opportunity to come down here and work with him, and it's been a blessing for me.
More than 4 decades into his career at Baylor University, it's natural that Clyde has scaled back his active role. No longer head coach, he's now the director of track and field. So while continuing to work with his runners, he'll travel less. He remains hugely respected by athletes and his peers. A certain amount of that admiration stems from the victories his runners have claimed and continue to claim. But no small measure of respect is bestowed on Coach Clyde Hart for his innate ability to simply connect and to inspire his charges, not just as athletes, but as people.
I've never used profanity. I've never really what I call jumped on a kid and embarrassed him. I have talked sternly to him, and I have let him know when I'm not happy. But I think that the kids don't respect people that are not respectful. And I try to make them feel like that we are a family and we're in this together, but at the same time, I expect them to be here on time. I expect them to do certain things. If they're not, then they're going to hear from me.